What's a Squire Stratocaster, Randy Rhoads, and a Corvette have in common? They all use polyester. Want to know how? Stick around. The wait is over. The polyester video is finally here. Let's get nerdy. I truly can't apologize enough. I'm so sorry. I realize it's been forever since I've posted something, particularly this video, which is I've been promising now for the better part of a year. A lot's happened. There's going to be another video that will closely follow this one where I'll explain everything, but as you can see, a lot is different in a great way. Polyester gets developed because scientists and pretty much the world and business in general are looking for ways to speed up and make more money everywhere at anything. We're trying to replace organic materials with synthetic materials because we can probably make those faster. And speed, that's money. If you're Gen X, like yours truly, when you think about polyester, usually you think about this. No, that's not what I'm talking about. So what is polyester? Well, like nitrocellulose lacquer and polyurethane, it's plastic. It's a highly durable plastic that when cured is really resistant to solvent. Chemically speaking, it's a long chain polymer. PET or polyethylene terephthalate is probably the most common. Others would be polyethylene naphthalate, polytrimethylene terephthalate, and polybutylene terephthalate. If we look at PET, it's made by combining terephthalic acid with ethylene glycol. Polyester was invented in the early 1930s by a fellow named Wallace Carruthers. Not surprisingly, Wallace worked for DuPont. He also went on to make nylon. Kind of cool. It wasn't really until 1941 when two British chemists, John Rex Winfield and James Tennant Dixon, were successful at putting together PET. All right, cool. What does all that mean? Well, what it really means is that by the 50s, just like with polyurethane, we start to see polyester as a coating being implemented in everything industrial, you know, painting big machines or cars or furniture or guitars. Okay, so how does all this tie back to your big goofy intro about the Squire and Randy Rhoads and the car? Squires are usually painted with polyester paint, just like a lot of import guitars. But that's not to say that you can't use polyester on guitars that are high end, because Randy's Concord, as a matter of fact, all Charvels and Jacksons in the 80s were painted with polyester. And where's the Corvette come in? Was it painted with polyester? Well, I don't know, but I can tell you that polyester resin, PET, is very common in fiberglass. It's the resin that holds the fiberglass together. Like polyurethane, polyester is a catalyzed material, typically a three-part mix. There's the resin itself, then cobalt, and the true catalyst is a peroxide, more specifically MEKP, or methyl ethyl ketone peroxide. The polyester that I usually get already has the cobalt mixed into the resin, so all I have to do is just add the MEKP. If you're mixing this and it is a three-part system, please, please, please put the cobalt into the resin first. Don't mix the cobalt and the MEKP together at the beginning. That's a bomb. And if you over-catalyze, you'll just like smoke screen, just napalm. It's awful. And it gets hot. It'll burn. And like your shop, or you, or your house, or your dog. Why is your dog here? Why would you use polyester to begin with? Here's why. It has a very high solid content, so you don't have to put on as much. 10 coats of lacquer equals probably 3 coats of polyester. It cures fast. I can usually sand and buff a guitar that's top coated in polyester in about 3 days. If I'm going for a cleaner finish with lacquer, it's at least 2 weeks. If I'm doing it with polyurethane, it's probably 6-7 days minimum before that stuff's cured and hard enough to be able to polish. Drawbacks. It's toxic. And I mean, you need a respirator big time for this stuff. It will get in your lungs just like polyurethane, but probably even worse. It's so nasty. So please, 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 if you're going to be using this stuff, booth and a respirator, don't just shoot it outside, particularly like, you know, having a cigarette. It's also not as clear as polyurethane. So if you have a lot of it built up onto a surface, it will tend to get a little discolored, maybe a light amber, brownish, or pink, depending upon the manufacturer of the polyester. Polyester is not just used by import guitar manufacturers, you know, inexpensive beginner kind of instruments. It's a tremendous finish that can be used on several high-end as well. So I had talked about curing times and how it only just takes a few days to be able to sand and buff polyester because it dries so quickly. Well, it can dry even faster. Several years ago, Tom Anderson, Bob Taylor, and Ken Warmuth all got together to develop a cabinet that you could use a UV-curable polyester. Think of a tanning bed meets rotisserie chicken. What happens, you shoot your clear, put it in the cabinet, it spins for about 90 seconds, comes out, and you're ready to cut and buff. 90 seconds. That's fast. I'm just saying. Okay, what's it look like? Well, it looks like this. You can see it's like a pink viscous goo. You guys remember Ghostbusters 2? I am really pink viscous goo. Now this can be thinned with acetone. I don't recommend it because it can break down that polymer so that it might not cure as hard as it needs to. It takes a little bit more air pressure and a larger fluid tip, but it in your paint gun, but it goes on and flows out really, really nice. Now this doesn't have the catalyst. It doesn't have the MEKP. When I put the MEKP in, it could go from being this sort of pinkish color to Earl Grey tea. When we add the catalyst for this, it's a really tiny little mixture. You can do 1 or 2%, and the more you put in, the faster it's going to harden, so the shorter your pot life. If you put in 2%, you've got about 20 minutes before it starts turning into jello and then a great big hockey puck in your paint gun. I'm going to do 1% in this. This is 80 mil, yeah, 80 mil here. So I'm going to do 0.8 here. Let's mix this up so you guys can watch the browning in real time. Boom, there it goes. That 1% will give you a pot life in your paint gun for 30 to 45 minutes. You definitely want to keep a close eye on it. You feel your paint cup getting warm, that stuff has to come out right now or you're going to have to throw that paint gun in the trash. It could sit, but if you let it sit too long, I mean, it could... For me, bottom line is if I'm going to do a clean finish on a guitar, I'm going to top coat it with polyester because it's going to give me the best result, the fastest result. It's just a tremendous finish. I had promised some honorable mention, other things that you could use aside from nitro lacquer, polyurethane, or polyester. There's conversion varnish. Conversion varnish is also a catalyzed material that goes on quickly, dries fast, sands to powder, and buffs out very well. I'm really starting to look into water-based finishes now. There are several water-based finishes out there that give you a beautiful result, and they are not toxic. They're not flammable. You don't have to worry so much about blowing up your shop. You can use a box fan as an exhaust fan.
Side note and little safety tip, never use a box fan to extract paint fumes from your shop. If you're using paints that are flammable, it will go through the motor. It will catch on fire and explode.
And with the water-based paint, that means I can clean up my gun with just water in the sink. Weird. That wraps it up. Better late than never. That's all 3 of the big ones: nitrocellulose lacquer, polyurethane, and polyester. Which one works for you? Man, it's truly up to you. All are going to give you a really good result. Here in just a few days, I promise that video, I know I've said that before, the video explaining like all of this and why it's been a minute since I've been here is going to shed some light on some stuff. I think you guys are going to dig it. Some of you probably already know, but it's more fun to do it like this. Until then, don't do anything weird. It's been a minute. You probably did something weird, didn't you? Do I want to know? I don't want to know. Don't tell me. See ya.